US Congress has passed President Donald Trump's huge tax breaks and spending cuts bill, bringing an end to days of debate and overnight voting in the capital.
Moldova is pushing hard to join the EU, as it plans to convince the bloc of progress made on access requirements.
US contractors say live ammunition, stun grenades and tear gas were used towards Palestinians at aid distribution sites.
The US Congress has passed President Donald Trump's huge tax breaks and spending cuts bill, bringing an end to days of debate and overnight voting in the capital. House Republicans propelled the $4.5 trillion Big Beautiful Bill to final congressional passage on Thursday, overcoming multiple setbacks to approve Trump's signature second-term policy package before a 4th of July deadline. GOP leaders worked overnight, and the president himself leaned on a handful of skeptics to drop their opposition and send the bill to him to sign into law.
The motion is adopted.
Democrats had been unified in opposition of the bill, with protests taking place across the country. According to them, the nation's social safety net would face massive changes under the bill. This includes access to health insurance, food assistance and health services. Supporters say the measures would save taxpayers' money and block fraud.
Moldova is pushing hard to join the EU. The government intends to take advantage of the bilateral summit with the European Union scheduled for this Friday to emphasize its progress made in recent years on access requirements. Yet, some MEPs are hesitant to split the enlargement process and leave Ukraine lagging behind. Others, on the other hand, support a faster expansion of the bloc.
Integrating the Republic of Moldova into the EU would be a smaller effort for the European Union than, the integration of larger countries. So Moldova is a smaller country, so with our support there, we can achieve a lot. Amounts which for the European Union are not necessarily very significant, matter a lot, and they can make a big difference in the Republic of Moldova.
The EU is to present the details of its 3-year growth plan, worth €1.9 billion, as a support initiative for Moldova. The Eastern European country has been suffering systematic hybrid attacks by Russia in a bid to derail its path to join the Union. Brussels is also aware that the Moldovan public opinion is divided between pro-Western orientations and Russian-orientated sympathies.
The Russian-speaking minority and enterprises in the so-called Transnistrian region benefit from European integration. More than 70% of the exports from the so-called Transnistrian region go into the European market. So I think Russia will continue to try to destabilize, but I think people in Moldova will stay calm.
Moldova applied for EU membership in March 2022 and became a candidate in June that year. Accession negotiations started in June 2024. The Western Balkan region is facing severe drought and water restrictions as a record-breaking heat wave grips much of Europe. In Serbia, temperatures reached 39 degrees Celsius in some parts of the country on Thursday. The state's meteorological institute has warned that extreme drought is affecting the country's crops, while water levels in rivers and lakes have dropped. Small towns and villages throughout the country also face restrictions on drinking water. In Kosovo, a water shortage closed an open-air pool in the capital Pristina, used by people to cool off in the summer heat.
Well, I guess we have maybe the strongest heat wave that is currently affecting our country and also the region, and unfortunately we have not been able to open the largest public pool in the country. Normally we fill it with water from the mountains in just 6 days, but due to the lack of the rainfall and the drought. The process has already taken us over 3 weeks.
Temperatures are expected to reach 35 degrees Celsius in Kosovo on Thursday. The country's health institute has called on people to stay away from direct sunlight and has warned vulnerable citizens to stay at home.
The European Commission has been targeted by a motion of censure in the European Parliament. The MEPs should debate it on Monday, and the confidence vote is scheduled for Thursday. Tabled by this Romanian MEP, the motion of censure was signed by Conservatives and the extreme right. His first argument concerns the Commission's refusal to disclose text messages during Pfizergate.
The European Court of Justice in Luxembourg says that the European Commission should disclose those SMS which were exchanged between Frau von der Leyen and Burla from Pfizer about the contract, a contract with a value of 35 billion euros, about the contract for the vaccines.
Furthermore, the Conservative MEP accuses the Commission of mismanagement of funds for the post-COVID-19 pandemic recovery plan. He also says that the Commission would have funded NGOs to lobby MEPs with the aim of promoting the European Green Pact. Accusations refuted by the Commission. To be adopted and lead to the resignation of the College of Commissioners, the motion must secure 2/3 of the votes cast and the support of a majority of MEPs.
There will be a vote against the motion. I'm sure of this because the majority is still there with Frau von der Leyen. And even in this majority, there are a lot of discontent against for von der Leyen. They will not, for the moment, force her to resign, but probably this will happen in 6 months.
There is a precedent. In 1999, the Commission had resigned based on allegations of fraud and questions of transparency before a formal vote by the Parliament. The UK's Deputy Prime Minister was in Liverpool for a conference when she heard about Diogo Jota's death. Accompanied by the city's mayor, she made a point of being present outside the club's stadium. She joined the tribute to one of Anfield's best-loved players.
Done an incredible job here at Liverpool Football Club. They're one of their greatest strikers, and just getting married, having his young children, looking forward to all the great things that he was going to do here and in his life, and it's just so heartbreaking.
The head of the British government was in London, but also reacted to the tragedy.
This is devastating news, and I'm sure I speak for everyone in saying our first thoughts are going to be with his family and his friends in particular. But there are millions of Liverpool fans, but also football fans, non-fans, who will also be shocked by this.
In Portugal, the President of the Republic mourned a premature death. He highlighted a player who he had said represented Portuguese soccer at the highest level. The Prime Minister also highlighted Jota's legacy as an athlete who greatly honoured the country's name. Cristiano Ronaldo spoke of a tragedy that makes no sense. He recalled that he'd recently been with Jota in the national team and that his colleague had just got married. The former Portugal international left his mark on the national team and in England. For Liverpool, he won the championship last season.
You don't know these people personally, but when you do lose somebody in this fashion, it's devastating. It's going to affect everybody. It's like losing somebody that's really, really close to you.
A little yellow post-it note will do. R.I.P.
In Liverpool, the club's flag by the stadium and that of the town hall were flown at half-mast as a sign of mourning.
American contractors have used live ammunition and stun grenades at aid distribution sites in Gaza, according to insiders speaking on the condition of anonymity, as hungry Palestinians desperately scramble for food. 2 US contractors guarding aid sites in Gaza shared testimonies, reports and messages with the Associated Press, revealing rare insights into the operations of the Israel-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The videos provided by the contractors show hundreds of Palestinians crowded at aid sites amid gunfire. Other videos show English-speaking men discussing crowd control and encouraging each other after gunfire.
I think you hit one.
Hey, got IDF tank posted on the northwest corner now. Brought him in and talked to him next to the chauffeurs.
The contractors said bullets were fired in all directions, including towards Palestinians. They were called at least one time where they thought someone was hit. They said they felt the need to speak out because they were disturbed by what they saw as dangerous and irresponsible behavior. They added that the security staff were often unqualified, unvetted, heavily armed, and seemed to have an open license to do whatever they wished. A spokesperson from the logistics company subcontracted by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, or GHF, said there have been no serious injuries at their sites. They said security fired warning shots into the ground away from civilians in the early days when crowd control was necessary. Before GHF opened in May, Israel blocked all food, water and medicine from entering Gaza for 2.5 months. GHF replaced the system previously run by the United Nations, which has condemned the GHF's methods as violating international aid standards. Since late May, local authorities say more than 500 Palestinians have been killed at aid sites. A joint statement by 170 NGOs has called for the GHF to be shut down.